William!
Cecile, long time no see. So what are we talking about today?
You know what? Slow down. Let's first greet our precious listener or listeners. Hello, Sir Gerson and everyone.
Everyone?
I don't know. Maybe Sir is listening with somebody. We never know, right?
Well, it could be. But alright then, shall we?
Of course. You sound so excited though for this podcast, or is this me?
Of course. I am a Gen Z and you too. You must be. Since we're going to be talking about mental health and why it is matters for among of us, Gen Z, right?
Yeah. Mental health and Gen Z really related to each other. Okay, so let me break it down first. So, our first topic is digital loneliness, always online but feeling disconnected. And I am sure that both of us relate very much to this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. You know what, William? I've done a
Mhm.
research. According to Aksakali et al. 2025, in their
Mhm.
research of Visible but Lonely, an investigation of the relationship between university students' social media use and online loneliness, the study suggests that face to face interaction should be increased due to online engagement actually does not always translate to the feeling socially fulfilled. And now I want to ask you that why do you think so? Like why do people not feel fulfilled even though they are scrolling through social media or perhaps watching funny memes that makes them laugh? Like, isn't laughter brings you joy?
Yeah, wow, that's a solid research and those questions is well,
Okay.
I think it's simple. We are human, we are social beings. Even though they are introverts like I am, we still need
Uh-huh.
each other. We still need
Mm-hmm.
community to grow. Then that is crucial. Even
Mm.
bacteria have a colony, and animals
Mm-hmm.
have their team to prey on.
Yeah.
Besides, I think I prefer laughing over a meme with others rather than be alone though.
Yeah, just like what you do in class, like you always do, like when
Mhm.
you're seeing a
Yeah.
meme, you always give it to me, you know? Well, also, according to a Very Mind, there's an article from Very Mind, feeling lonely actually can lead to the feeling of isolation, which can cause depression and later, I'm so sorry for saying this,
Mhm.
led to suicidal thoughts. Also, this is also very mind blowing for me actually that people who lack confidence in themselves often believe that they are unworthy of the attention or regard of other people. And this will lead them to isolate themselves, scrolling through their phones for hours, and that also contributes to the root of loneliness somehow.
Oh really?
The very well mindset, so bro. And do you realize that we are scrolling on our phones? We will do it for hours without realizing it. Because I once did. I didn't realize that I was not. I was scrolling for hours on my bed. For hours, approximately 4 hours,
Yeah.
and I ended up feeling so guilty about it.
Yeah, especially when we have nothing to do or when we have something to do but we choose to procrastinate. That
Mm-hmm.
happens.
Yeah.
And also scrolling keeps us for hours because the feeds are endless looping and
Mm-hmm.
there is always some things then and some people are FOMO too.
FOMO, that's it. Catch it
Mhm.
quick. Procrastinators, yes, I am. And I think we might find relatable posts and that makes us feel seen,
Mhm.
but trapped at the same time because of hours of scrolling without interaction with others. Okay, well, um, have you ever felt disconnected from others?
Well, obviously, yeah. And I think as anak kosan, we all do
Anak kosan, heck
sometimes.
yeah.
You know what I mean? And what
Yeah.
about you? I am sure you did it too, right?
Yeah, I did it too. That's why I asked you though. I mean, especially when there is a campus break or national holiday, somehow it's good because no classes, we stay at home in the room and do nothing, it's we think it's good for us.
Yeah, yeah, that's true, and related to among human beings. And at the first, it's feel like relaxing.
Mhm.
Finally, no deadlines, no lecturers, just me times. But after a few days, I started feeling weirdly empty.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I've been scrolling for hours, watching reels, replying some random memes, but somehow I feel isolated.
Yeah, you will started feeling weirdly empty and then feel isolated. And I think it's because your brain keeps saying, I am connected, because you're constantly online, but your heart knows something's missing. No real talks, no actual laughter, no energy from people around you.
Right. It's ironic, isn't it?
It is, it is.
So, we can talk to anyone, anytime,
Yeah.
yet we still feel disconnected. And
hmm
I
Yeah.
think social media tricks us to thinking we're socializing, but it is not the same.
Yeah, yeah, because online interactions don't always give you emotional warmth. Like you might get likes or views or any other online engagement, but it doesn't feel that deeper need for connection.
And sometimes I think we use scrolling as a distractions,
Exactly.
we're not just bored, we're lonely. But
Yeah.
instead talking to someone, we scroll to feel less lonely.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. To feel less lonely because we think that, oh, maybe we can buy our free time with scrolling. It's
Hmm.
like a it's like a loop or something. And I actually read somewhere that loneliness can push us to use social media more.
Hmm.
But then when the more we use it, the lonelier we feel. So yeah, I've mentioned it before. It's like a loop.
Yeah, a never-ending cycle. You open
Yeah.
your phone because you want to feel close to people, but you ended up trapped in comparison or just consuming instead or connecting.
Comparison, I think that's also another branch in for insecurity.
Mm-hmm.
Like you compare yourself with people online, and I think what makes it worse is that how easy it is to pretend everything is fine. Like we can post stories of coffee, playlists, or sunsets, and people assume we are okay, but maybe that's our way of saying I'm lonely without actually saying it.
Exactly, it's like we want someone to notice without having to say, "Hey, I'm struggling."
Yeah, 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 yeah. It's insane how being seen online doesn't always mean being understood.
Totally, I guess that's what digital loneliness really is, surrounded by
hmm
online noise, but missing a real connection.
Yeah, yeah. But I think maybe the key here is balance, to be intentional with how we use our phones, like reaching out to people instead of just watching them.
Yeah, sending that one message instead of just viewing their story, right?
Yeah, yeah. Viewing stories or like it. maybe maybe the real way to stay connected is not just online but emotionally too.
So, okay, we've talked about feeling disconnected even when we're online 24/7, but what do you think, Cecil? How do we actually deal with it?
Hmm. Well, honestly, I think the first step is it's I think the first step is realizing that it is normal. Like back again, honesty is important. First thing you have to do is admit it.
Hmm.
Like everyone feels lonely sometimes, even when surrounded by people or scrolling through endless content. It's not something for you to be ashamed of.
Yeah, that's a good point. Sometimes we don't even admit that it because we think loneliness means we're weak or unpopular, but really it's just a sign that we crave for a genuine connection.
Exactly. And for us college students, it's so easy to fall into that trap, especially if we live alone, like anak kosan, you know.
Mm-hmm.
We spend hours studying, then resting with our phones, but not really connecting with others.
Right, I guess one simple thing it is to be more intentional about how we use social media. Like instead of passively scoring, actually message someone, bro. Even just
Yeah,
hey,
yeah.
hey, how have you been? It sounds small, but it's break the silence.
Yeah, I think that's the key right there. Like, message someone is way better than you just keep scrolling through your social media. Or even just take breaks from screens, like go outside, grab coffee with a friend, or join a campus club, which we all do as a college student, or even talk to your roommate, for you especially in housing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Real life, real life interactions release oxytocin, that is a connection hormone, which online likes cannot replace.
Yeah, that is insane. How just a 10-minute chat face to face can change your whole mood. And I think we are underestimate that.
We do, and I do too. Also, I think it's about finding meaning in solitude too. Like, being online does not always have to mean being lonely. Sometimes journaling, reading, walking, or maybe gaming with friends can help us reconnect with ourselves, with others,
Mm-hmm.
instead of just escaping through screens or scrolling.
Oh, that's deep.
No, right?
Yeah, because sometimes what we call disconnections, it is really just a lack of emotional rest.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
We keep feeding our brains with content, but we never let it breathe.
Yeah, exactly. And if we don't manage it, it can turn into burned out, anxiety, or even depression. That's why it matters to pay attention early.
Yeah, like preventing digital loneliness isn't just about feeling better. It's about protecting our mental health because if we keep feeling empty and disconnected, it can affect our motivation, grades, and even how we see ourselves.
Yeah, well, totally. I think also as a college student, it's a nightmare if loneliness can make us lose our motivation and even, fail our grades,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And when we feel disconnected, we stop reaching out. And that isolation can spiral. But if we learn to manage it, we can build healthier habits and deeper friendships.
So maybe that's the message for today. Being always online doesn't mean being connected.
Mm-hmm.
And it's okay to look up sometimes because connection isn't just about your Wi-Fi, it's about
Yeah,
your real presence.
yeah, real presence. Yeah, yeah. Digital balance is self-care, like especially for Gen Z. We can't, we cannot pour from an empty cup. So here, listeners, take care of your mind and reach out when you feel alone. You are not the only one feeling that way.
Perfectly said. So, next time you catch yourself for scrolling for hours, maybe I am connecting or just consuming.
Yeah, ask yourself that. Don't forget. Yeah. And if the answer is just consuming, maybe it's time to put the phone down and call a friend.
Exactly.
So, well,
Hmm?
I wanted to ask you this. Be honest, okay? How many times have you said I am fine when actually you were not? Okay, I know that laughing. I know
Wait,
that laugh.
it's too many times, dude. I think
Okay.
I am fine has become like the default setting, you know?
Default
Yeah,
setting.
default
Okay.
setting. We're human being, right? It is easier than explaining what's really wrong.
I got it. I got it. Thank you for your honesty,
Mm-hmm.
though. Well, it's like a mask, you know. We say to protect ourselves, to avoid awkward questions, or maybe because we don't want to be a burden.
Yeah, then sometimes it's also because we think people don't really want to hear the truth. Like when someone says, "Hey, how are you?" It's just a small talk. You're not sure if they are ready for actually. I've been struggling.
Yeah, it links back
Mm-hmm.
to the feeling of you're scared that you're gonna be a burden to others. But you know what? What's funny is that this habit creates a kind of emotional wall. We're all pretending to be okay while deep down we all crave honesty and connection.
Exactly, and I think for Gen Z, it's even more complicated. We express pain through memes, jokes, and like, haha, I'm dead, or life a mess, but whatever. But
Yeah,
sometimes those jokes are covering something real.
yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
relate to that because I do that too,
Mm-hmm.
you know. It's like turning pain into humor makes it easier to handle, but also easier to ignore.
Mm-hmm.
And because everyone does it, it is hard to tell when someone's actually hurting.
Yeah, we've kind of built this culture when vulnerability very risky. Like if you admit you're not okay, you might look dramatic or weak.
Exactly, you know, like especially we live in the culture where if a man cries, that man is weak.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, it's not, you know. The truth is, hiding behind "I'm fine" only makes things heavier. The more we suppress, the more it builds up. And that's when burnout or anxiety hits us out of nowhere.
Yeah, it is. Like those nights where you suddenly feel overwhelmed for no reason, but actually it's everything you didn't talk about feeling.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's why it is important to create safe spaces with friends, family, or even
Hmm.
ourselves, where we can just be honest, like, hey, I'm not okay today, and that's okay.
Yeah, sometimes you don't need advice. You just need someone listens without judgment.
Yeah, totally. And that's something we can all do better, I believe. Like listening, not fixing. Like not everyone need an advice, but everyone I'm sure needs someone just to understand them. Just being there can make a huge difference.
And I think it's also about being honest with ourselves. Like
Mhm.
before we can tell someone else we're not fine, we have to admit it to
Yeah,
ourselves that I'm not fine.
yeah. We
Yeah.
have to admit it first. We have
Mm.
to be honest first to ourselves, as self-honesty is the first step toward healing. You cannot heal what you pretend doesn't exist.
Mhm. Yeah, that's powerful. And maybe that's why saying I'm not fine matters because it's an act of courage. It's admitting we're human, right?
Yeah, true, true. We don't always have to have it together, you know? Like there are days maybe we can say we're not okay and that's okay. And if you think about it, the people who truly care for us will never see your honesty as a burden.
Yeah, if anything, it brings people closer. It's remind us we're not alone in feeling this way.
Right, I agree with that. Like vulnerability connects us, but pretending disconnects us. So maybe next time if someone asks how are you, we can try something more real like, well, I've been better but I'm managing, or honestly it's been rough but thanks for asking, or even I'm not okay. Would you mind to just listen to me? I don't need advice. I just need
Mhm.
someone to listen to me. You know?
Yeah, it is small, but it is real. And that's honesty can start meaningful conversation like the kind we all need more of.
Yeah, yeah. You know, what's ironic is
Hmm.
also that we always post things like check on your friends. But sometimes we don't even check on ourselves. We post all of those reminders that But we somehow forget that we are part of the people who need checking on, you know? Like sometimes we're the ones behind the meme, laughing online but crying offline.
Exactly, that what makes these topics it's so important because when I'm fine becomes our default answer, we start to lose touch with real emotion, our real
Real,
emotions.
real.
When we get so used to pretending what we forget that honesty with ourselves feels like.
Yeah, yeah. You know what? And over time, that takes a toll. That's a fact.
Mm-hmm.
You feel drained, but you can't explain why. And there are nights maybe when you just fell apart crying because I've experienced that. You know, like you laugh, but it doesn't reach your heart anymore. And it's like living in a grayscale. Like everything looks okay, but something's missing, you know?
Yeah, like a piece of puzzle missing, something
Yeah,
like that.
yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, and I think the part of
Uh-huh.
it comes from how fast life moves. So look at now, we're always on performing, studying, working, scrolling, trying to
Exactly.
keep it up. There is
Mm-hmm.
barely any space to pause and ask ourselves, or even breathe, and like, hey, how am I really doing?
Yeah, yeah, true. And sometimes
Hmm.
either we don't have time or we don't want to make a time. And we don't ask because we are scared of the answer. We're scared that we're gonna falling apart, you know. We're going to fall apart. We're scared that if we stop and really feel, we will down on the floor, cry on our knees, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But actually, that's the first step of healing, which is allowing yourself to feel what you've been avoiding to feel.
That's true. I remember when I doing my first semester, living away from home, everything looked fine on social media. I post
Yeah, yeah.
pictures I love with my friends, but at the night, come on, man, it was quiet.
Right.
I didn't even
Uh-huh.
know who talked to.
You know, I relate so much to this too. And we think that at that time, I think, oh, maybe because it's my first semester, or oh, maybe because I just haven't adapted yet. I get that,
Mm-hmm.
you know? And it's like we are surrounded by people, but no one else really sees us, you know? And instead of saying, I'm lonely, I need someone to talk to, we just say, I'm fine. I will get used to this. This is just first phases
Yeah.
of adulting, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And because admitting we are lonely feels shameful, you know, like it means something's wrong with us.
Yeah, but it's not shameful at all.
Yeah,
Loneliness
right.
Loneliness doesn't mean we're broken. It means we're human, craving real connection in a world that's too noisy.
Exactly. And I think it's time we normalize saying I'm struggling, not for pity, but for understanding. Because pretending doesn't protect us, it isolates us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's so true. And it's okay to take a small steps like journaling, reaching out to one trusted friend, uh, or even saying like, "Hey, today wasn't great." You don't have to tell
Right.
the whole story, but just start somewhere.
True, true. And I think that's where healing starts, not in silence, but in honesty. Once you once you do the self-honesty, you know, it's about creating a culture where being vulnerable isn't seen as weak, but brave.
Because honestly, it takes more strength to admit that you're not fine to keep pretending you are.
Exactly. And I think if we all start being a little more real, saying I'm not okay today or I need a break, maybe we will realize that we're not alone after all.
Yeah, maybe I'm fine can turn into I'm trying, and that's good enough, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And for the listener, sir, or everyone that is listening, not only sir, maybe I think I think we have to think about it. Like when was
Hmm.
the last time we be true to ourselves? We said I'm fine, or what did we really mean, you know?
And maybe next time you ask someone else, how are you? take a second to really listen. You may catch a truth behind that I'm fine.
Yeah, because behind that small phrase, there might be someone waiting to be understood.
So yeah, let's try to be a little more real with each other. It's okay to be fine.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And remember also that honesty doesn't make you weak, right? It's
Yeah.
human. Yeah, yeah. I think I got quiet for a second because really, that's a really deep conversation that we have here, you know?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
we can relate as a college student and as anak kosan,
Hmm.
you know? So if we look at everything that we've talked about today, being online but still feeling disconnected and saying I'm fine when we're really not, it all comes down with the same thing, doesn't it?
Hmm. Yeah. All just trying to feel seen, to belong, to be understood, but sometimes the way we live online makes it harder instead of easier.
That's it. It's strange, right?
Yeah.
We've never been so connected, yet so many of us feel alone. We scroll through other people's life, we laugh at memes, we
Hmm.
keep ourselves updated, but deep down something feels missing, you know?
And maybe what's it's missing a real connection, the kind of that comes from honesty, not perfections. From saying,
Yeah.
"Hey, I'm lonely. Hey, I'm not doing great," and trusting that someone will understand.
Yes, yes, exactly. Because it's in those moments of honesty that we actually start to connect again with others or with ourselves.
So, if you're listening right now and you've been stuck in that cycle, endlessly scrolling, saying saying I'm fine when you're not, maybe this is to this is your reminder to pause that looping cycle. I mean,
Yes, exactly. Exactly. We know that you've been listening to the whole podcast of us, sir. No offense, but like to look up from your screen, to send that text to your friend or to your fellow lecturers, like, hey, can we discuss about this? Or even just to sit with your feelings and say, you know what? It's too much podcast today that I'm hearing. I'm not okay today, and that's okay. Yeah, something like that.
yeah, because that's the loneliness doesn't mean something's wrong with you. It just mean you are human need connections.
Exactly. And honesty with yourself and others is how that connection begins.
So maybe that's our challenge to moving forward. Less pretending, more presence. Less scrolling, more listening, and less fine, more I'm trying.
Because the truth is, none of us are really alone in feeling alone. We just need to start speaking the unspeakable.
So thank you for listening to us, and remember, connection starts with honesty.
Yay, of course. Until next time, and sir, and William, and me
Yeah,
too, I'm saying this for all of us. Take care of your mind, your heart, and the people around you.
that's all for
Yay.
us. Bye bye.
Bye.